Okay, here goes. When our daughters were 3 years old, my best friend died from breast cancer. Now there's several quotes. A good friend said that U2 has a song, or it might be Bono who said it, that the universe is cold and indifferent. Then there's Benedict Cumberbatch, who I adore and love, and he had an incredible year, and he said how incredible and wonderful the universe is. And I fall somewhere in the middle. Bad shit happens, and it's gonna happen. It's just the way it is. But the universe is gonna cradle us and hold us and comfort us and make us as okay with it as it can. And that's what happened with Pam. We went through our whole pregnancy together. We were neighbors by chance, if you believe in chance, which I don't. We taught in the same school district. We went walking every night around this gravelly trail. And Pam was due a month later than I was. So I was in the hospital. And I had an epidural because my mother-in-law was in the room. I don't know why. And so the doctor comes in and I burst into tears and he says, epidural, and I nod vigorously. And then the next day, Tom, Pam's husband, calls and says, we're in the hospital having our baby. And I said, no, you're not. Give me the phone. You were teasing, you were joking. And sure enough, they were there. And then I asked, Pam, how was it? How in the world did you do natural childbirth? And she said, I just said, owie, owie, owie. And Zoe was born. So Zoe was perfectly healthy. She had an extra month with her little daughter. And then 2 years later, as school districts happen, she was due to teach 4th grade. I was teaching kindergarten. She had been teaching first. And anyone who's taught anyone anything knows, let's say you always make pumpkin pie for the holiday dinner. And all of a sudden, you're supposed to make apple pie and teach someone along with you. And finally, you're given a reprieve. You get to make all right, curse word, pumpkin pie. So that's what happened. I was pregnant with my second daughter over this summer, I told Pam, and she said, Stella, all I ask is that you tell them that you're pregnant. And Pam never asked anybody anything. And I would die for Pam. I would trade places a year later if I could, if the universe had let me. So I did, and I taught 6 months of 4th grade in incredible torture, being pregnant, and she got to teach the same grade and go home to her daughter every night. And then a year later, she found a lump. And Tom, being a guy and being just kind of not that into being married, had passed on the insurance paper, and she waited a whole month before going to the doctor because of a glitch in insurance. Not even telling me. And then when it was diagnosed, even the doctors were like, there's no history, you're fine, it's gonna be okay. And I was like, they cure everything nowadays. This is gonna be okay, we've got this. And we didn't. And she died. And Tom, who was a mediocre parent, became an incredible father. And he became the husband that I wish he had been for Pam to his second wife. And none of those things happened because of Pam's death, but it was the universe's way of making it softer and gentler. So then I was left with this emptiness. I finally had a normal experience with friendship and love. And suddenly it was gone, and this wave hit me, and I didn't know what to do with it. I tried different things. And then we moved to Wisconsin and moved next to this guy who had lost his wife suddenly 2 years earlier, and I found out this is what you do with it. As corny as it sounds, put one foot in front of the other. You help the neighbors next to you. You take the goofy neighbor next to you to the dog park and talk to her about your wife and the things you did, knowing that she has a jerk of a husband. And you let her bring food over because she's trying to comfort a widower, even though she's the one being comforted. And I made it through. And I found out the hole doesn't go away. And I walked a breast cancer walk, and on the back, I put for Pam, one of the ones who didn't make it. And then I moved to Lancaster, and I still had a nightmare that I wouldn't even admit to myself. I had the nightmare that if Pam had lived, she wouldn't be my friend. I'm an abuse survivor. I've done things I'm ashamed of. There's no way she could love me. And I have some former friends through the years, and I have some new friends who love me. And I know Pam, if she were here, would be one of those two. So the universe has kind of shaken my shoulder to wake me up, and my nightmare is over. Thanks.